All right, guys, we are going to do yet another one. We are going to do, you guys have asked for this one, Prince, Motherless Child. So we are going to do this, and you know what? It's Prince. I'm going to be interested to see if he throws another curveball. I keep seeing new things every time I see him perform, so let's just get right into it. Let's check it out.
Let's bring the lights down way low just a little bit. You know, there was never any reason to argue. There was never any reason to fight. From the first time Adam made love to Eve, the first time she took the bite, there was never any reason. Clap your hand. Oh, mama, mama, why you put me on the street? I'm only 12 years old. Sometimes
So I noticed he's got the big purple guitar there, and I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. Prince, amazing. I think he played basketball when he was younger. Being from Minnesota, I'm a little curious if he had any, I'm a Canadian boy. I'm curious if he's played any hockey, being from Minnesota. But he's a smaller statured guy, and he has that huge purple guitar. Okay, now his performances, he'd probably have certain guitars for certain songs, depending on what the song calls for, what he's trying to say. So he wouldn't be using that guitar all night, I don't think. That's a heavy guitar. I'd be very interested to see how much it weighs. There's a funny story about a guy. He's a Canadian legend. His name is Randy Bachman, and he was with the Guess Who, went on to a very successful solo career. He did the song "Taking Care of Business." When he was with the Guess Who, he wrote a number of hits, including "American Woman." And Randy Bachman was, by stature, a fairly large man, and he played a Gibson Les Paul. And then at some point he had some lower back problems because he was holding it all night. He was playing all night, and I guess it started to give him lower back problems, so he switched over to a Strat, which was lighter. So it's kind of an interesting thing too. Like, you guys are probably starting to know that I notice everything when I watch something now with my reaction videos. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. But again, Prince wouldn't have been holding that all night. He would have been bringing that guitar out for certain songs, I'm sure, in his sets. So, okay, let's carry on.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Come on, could you live me? Oh, did you leave me? Let me bring love, let me on my own.
So wicked band he's got there. Of course, it's Prince. I thought I heard someone else singing too. Had a pretty good voice too.
Sometimes I feel I wanna break down, right. Yeah. Sometimes I feel I wanna break down, right. Sometimes I feel I wanna break down, right.
And he's got a different configuration of a band here, right? He's got a bass player, he's got a guitar, he has another guitar player, drummer. I know I should know this person's name. It's not John Blackwell. There's a keyboardist, and also there's someone doing some other rhythm with. I thought I saw congas there. I always noticed, although I was somewhat adaptable, but I always noticed, like, if I was in certain configurations of bands, you play in a three-piece band, it's you have something going on for a long time, and then all of a sudden it ends, and you move on. I know when I've gotten into new configurations of bands, not that it took me that long to get used to it, but it's still different. It takes a little bit of time to get used to the change in the dynamics, where with Prince, it's like, dude can do anything. Come on. It's Prince.
Can I play my guitar?
Do you guys notice, even when he's muting the strings, some of the funky syncopation he's doing with his right hand? It's really, again, I tell you guys, I'm like the world's worst funk guitar player, but it's really interesting watching funk guitar players, man. It's really interesting for me. Congas. So he's got a nice tone of that guitar. Obviously, it's a very interesting shape of guitar, and of course, that can also play an effect on guitar tone as well. You play a Les Paul, and then you play a Strat, or you play a V, you're going to hear a difference in tone. Depending on the woods and the materials and all that other stuff, the electronics, the pickups, but that probably has a little bit of a different tone with that shape. So as was mentioned in the comments, Motherless Child. So I know Prince, didn't have the best childhood growing up. There's a lot going on in the home. I'm assuming that this, and also from what I gathered in the comments, it might be inspired by or some of what he went through, maybe? What do you guys think? Notice watching Purple Rain again. I'm going to do a video about that very soon. I watched it again. I got it this time. The white guitar that was in the video that she purchases for him as a gift. She sees him looking at it in a store. It had the EMG. It looked like the EMG pickup configuration. It had an unusual type of shape as well. Very interesting. Very interesting. that's a pretty heavy riff for a lot of Prince's material. So what I pick up from this is that his listening palette, I don't know, he was a very busy guy, but I'm under the impression that he was open to a lot of different musical styles, hearing him play that riff, okay? There's aggression, there's angst, there's a lot of different feelings going on. And this song is actually kind of complex. What's the different moods that are being evoked here? But that riff tells me that he listened to some heavier music too. See what the other members are doing on the stage, the moves and the walking together and everything that the other guitar player and the bass player are doing. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. If I had won the lottery in the sense that I got a chance to do a tour with Prince, I'd want at least a year's notice so I could work out and be in shape to do those types of performances, man. It's just unbelievable. Whammy pedal. Do you guys know of any other soul, funk, or blues guitar players that use a whammy pedal? Ahead of his time. Ahead of his time. I'm going to just be honest with you guys again. We're talking about the physical aspect. He was on a training regimen. I really think he was on top of his nutrition and his training, because just to be able to do that physically, when we're younger, we take things for granted with our bodies and our health and everything and our abilities to do things. But then as you start getting older, you sneak into your 30s and then into your 40s. A lot of us, things diminish. And I'm just watching those guys on stage playing with them. They don't look like super young, but they would have to train and work out to keep themselves in shape to do what they're doing on stage, on top of being stellar musicians. This looks like this might have been a TV program or something, but I can just tell by the mix out front, it would have sounded awesome. It would have sounded amazing. I can just tell by the punch of the drums, how they're mic'd, and how they would have sounded out front. It would have been amazing.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes, just like a Richie, I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes, come on, Mike, come on, I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. I feel like a motherless child.
Okay, so once again, we had some new aspects with Prince here. I was talking about the physicality aspect. I think that he was saying Vegas at the end, so I'm assuming this was during his stint in Vegas. Was it at the Aladdin he had something going on? Or maybe he was just passing through and did a show in Las Vegas. I'm not sure. You guys probably would know better than I do. So we had some yet new elements. He went into a pretty heavy riff, considering all of Prince's music that I've heard so far, which tells me he was definitely he had an open mind when it came to music, and he kind of drew from a lot of different things. So I am under the impression that, you know, he did like some heavier stuff. I can't name stuff offhand. I could, but only Prince would know, maybe some of the hardcore fans out there, such as you guys. But he definitely had an open mind with heavier music. I could hear that, again, using the whammy pedal, ahead of his time. But also is the physicality, the change in the setup that he had with the different musicians. Once again, nothing surprises me anymore, but I'm always prepared. I'm always looking now, what's the curveball? What's the curveball? All these different performances. It's something different, something new. But the physicality of that, really watch some of the, especially the artists that are up front, that are playing along with him. They're constantly doing something with the dance moves, the rehearsed moves. It was really cool watching the other guitar player and the bass player. The guitar work was really cool, but what really caught me in this one was that riff. When he went into that riff, it's kind of like another curveball going, oh wow, like that's kind of heavy, you know? So again, a lot of you have been asking me about that. There's a lot of different emotions in that song. I'm assuming it had to do with when he was young, tying into some experiences. We know that he didn't have the best childhood, but it was amazing. Again, that's one of my more favorite songs by Prince in our journey here. So excellent, guys, excellent recommendation. A lot of you recommended this to me. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Again, any other recommendations, any thoughts on what I said, and but I'd like specifically to know, were there some heavier bands that he was into? I'm going to say, yeah, there were. Remember, practice hard, practice smart, and we'll see you soon.